And good afternoon, my dear friends, or good morning, depending on what part of the world you're in. Perhaps even good evening. Morpheus in the house, and again, super excited. Yesterday kind of extended my vacation. That's why I didn't do a stream. Was again with my kids in the nature. But today, very excited to be back at my desk to look at these monitors. Love the independent kind of money making scheduling, right? So if you want to work, we want to enjoy life, but at the same time, when you have some time, make some money. This is definitely the place to do it. So a bit of the red pill giving you the truth based on logic, math, statistics, or rather logical application of math to your statistics. We're able to make money on a long-term basis, and much better than anything else you'd be able to find in the banks or in the stock market or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, maybe even more percent is available to be done on a daily basis with binary options. Pocket Option is the platform to go to. Awesome flexibility with the instruments that they provide. And certainly you can ask me anything about these instruments. If you're interested in making money, or rather making sure that money makes money for you, when money works for you instead of you for the money, ask. Chats are open. My boy Henry, my boy Donald are in the house right there. And today we're going to continue to do with a little bit of technical analysis because, well, as I mentioned last week, this week there's not really a whole lot of things happening in the beginning. Right on Monday we had OPEC meetings. Not really. It's kind of subjective a little bit too. We had, or wait a second, we will have Jolt's jobs opening today at 5 p.m. at the end of our stream, but that's not really something that I would kind of consider as a massive market mover. All right, so job openings is kind of means that there is demand for specialists, and that essentially means that somebody would be, if there's more of them, and it seems like it's declining. Right, it was 739 in June. It was kind of adjusted and came out at 7.7. Previous months, so there was a slight increase, but there now it's a projection to be a little bit lower. All right, so anyways, we'll see. I mean, towards the end, maybe we'll remember to take a peek at this, but this is not really something that I would give great credence to. It's I don't really remember this as something being a market mover. Though, if at 5 o'clock it's going to present us with a big spike, we're going to take advantage of it and open position for retracement. Anyways, and yeah, that's today. So consumer confidence at the same time. Remember, even though for a while this was a red high impact event, but it's got downgraded to medium impact event. Yes, consumer confidence is important. If you as a consumer are confident in your next paycheck, you're going to be spending money, which leads to economical growth. But this is the thing that you need to keep in mind. 3,000 households, right, in America, in a population of like 380 or whatever it is now, maybe 390 plus or 400 million. 3,000 households. Well, how many people work in a household? Right? Two, three, let's maybe even say like the maximum five. So we're talking about 15,000 opinions versus almost 400, or if not all, already 400 million population. Right? So that's why this is not really going to move the market as well, unless the shocking statistic here, and yes, it might. But for the east side of the world, maybe Asia, Australia is going to be releasing the CPI tomorrow, and yes, CPI moves the market. So there's going to be a splash. There should be a retracement. And if anybody is joining us right now to see, we have 100% success rate. I'm usually saying that, hey, this is not really something that's necessary. This is, but it just so happened for 2 months straight, you and I, we have a 100% success rate with the macro statistics. That's why we're kind of paying attention to this, especially. And positions that I open there are usually a bit bigger, right, than versus technical analysis. So anyways, tomorrow at 4, this is GMT plus 3 time. My time right now, and so this is way too early for me, but for some of you guys, it's going to be all right. Now, tomorrow we do have a bunch of interest rates, right? We have Canadian overnight rate, right? But we are going to take, I'm going to go live with you guys tomorrow much later than usual, right? Today it's at 4 o'clock, but tomorrow it's going to be around 9 p.m., right? Well, a little bit earlier than 9 p.m. to be able to kind of say hello and give you a little 411 as to what we could be expecting. Last time we made some good money, last month, when the United States was releasing their federal funds rate, which is central bank adjustment or lack thereof, it usually prompts kind of interest to this particular currency. If the banks raise interest rates, it's very good for the currency because it encourages international interest. Right, so if you in Europe are going to be keeping your money in the bank at like 3%, and all of a sudden you see that United States raised it to like 5%, which usually it's done in a quarter of a percent each time, but nevertheless, let's say that tomorrow's crazy surprise. Yeah, you as an international kind of investor, right? You'll be thinking, hey, my money's sitting here making 4% or like 3%, whatever, and in America is making more. So you're going to sell your euros, you're going to buy dollars, and that's essentially is going to strengthen the currency. So it's going to be good for the currency if they're going to raise it. But afterwards there's a press conference, and usually this also could move the market. So tomorrow we're going to be meeting a bit later, but I do encourage you to take a look at Canadian, right? Canadian overnight rate, same thing. Federal funds rate, here it's named overnight rate. And basically it's banks borrow money from each other. Right, so when you deposit your money in the bank, it doesn't stay there in a vault. Bank lends out this money, and it gets like a daily influx of the payments. So they got liquid kind of account, and when you ask for money, they take it out of this liquid account. But if you ask for a lot of money, they might say, hey, yes, sure, of course, but we're gonna do it tomorrow. Or if there's not enough, they're gonna ask a bank to lend them money overnight. Right, because the following day new payments are coming in, and they should be able to return that money back. Right, so this is essentially why it's called, why it's called overnight rates, because banks borrow money from each other whenever they need to top up their liquidity account. All right, so we got a bunch of things tomorrow, very important things. On Thursday, we're going to be taking advantage of the employment costs index, right, or employment claims and PCE index. I mean, everything is going to be at the same time around 3:30. This is where close to what we usually do, and the biggest, most popular macro statistic of the month is going to be this Friday. Non-farm. So, anyways, worth keeping an eye out, and so hopefully we're not going to be missing this. Okay, and today, because there's, as I mentioned, not really a lot of interesting things right now, we're going to be looking at a technical analysis, and we're going to be continuing to go through all of the indicators. And once right now we've reached awesome oscillator, but probably in the near future we'll come back to the alligator. Yesterday was supposed to have been alligator. But today we're going to take a look at awesome oscillator, but we're going to go through all of these every single time we have a technical trading session, right? If there's no macro statistics, or even if there is macro statistics, it's usually something that's like a 2, 3, 4 minute resolution. And this is why it's kind of important to keep an eye out on this. All right, so the other thing that I want to mention is that we've finally gotten an opportunity to kind of fix the situation with the tournaments, right? So I always told that the pocket option is a great platform because it offers this unprecedented ability to put money into your account daily with zero risk. This is something that's kind of cool. So today I've started recording how to trade, how to win tournaments. So expect the video of this to be sometime soon. And I just realized that I put all my money in the safe, so let me move that back. And actually, yeah, let's go back to the screen. There we go. All right, so awesome oscillator, awesome oscillator. Very, looks very close to like accelerator oscillator. As you can see, it's got the zero line, the histogram, the red bars, the green bars, and it actually kind of looks a little bit also the same like MACD, moving average convergence divergence. So since we're going to be talking about awesome oscillator, we're going to give it a little bit more, I don't know, attention. And yeah, right about here was a good selling position. And there's actually two ways to trade. There's actually multiple ways to trade awesome oscillator. There is the saucer, there is the crossing of the zero line, and there is the divergence. I'm kind of trying to see if there's oh, okay, let's start with divergence. Look at this. This is kind of like a cool thing. We see that there is a crossing of the zero line. This is a buy signal, right, from an awesome oscillator. And we see that it goes up to a particular peak, all right, and we see the market, yes, indeed, it goes up to a particular peak. But then there is a retracement, right, and continuation. This could, not ideal saucer, but we understand that, yeah, right here there is also a buy signal because, it doesn't cross the zero line. It kind of starts to go green again. And we look at the other indicators, like for example, MACD did show you a buy signal right here. We did see parabolic show you a buy signal right here. But I want to show you this. Watch. It goes from here to here, right? Or actually, we could say like even to this point, right? There is a little drop, not a big one, right? There's a little drop from this point down to here. But we're looking at the market. It actually starts going upwards, right? Right here, there's a definite line. Let's see if we can draw this, right? So there is a well-defined higher highs between the let's say even like right up to here, right? Right up to here. There we go. So we see the red bar, but here it was the opposite, right? So this kind of tells us that there is a kind of a bearish trend coming, all right? So that this particular movement is losing steam, right? So we actually, I would have maybe thought about putting several support levels, something like this, and probably something like this. And, what do I usually say? That while it's above this line, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3-point contact. But I'm looking at other indicators and I say, hey, look, there is divergence, right? So there is a downward, kind of drop over here. Not a big one. Sometimes you're able to notice, a much bigger one, divergence. And, well, that means that the trend might be coming to an end much sooner, right? But that's essentially what divergence is all about, is when the asset does a particular move while the indicators like awesome oscillator or RSI or stochastic, all right, they also show you, let's see if we can maybe take a peek here. Same thing, yeah, look, right here to down to here, or no, wait a second, no, here it was almost level, so still the same thing, even when this is level, but this one is increasing. It's also a divergence, right? So let's see if maybe we can see it clear with stochastic. And then from here, no, it's also about leveled. So let's see if maybe we can find a better situation. No, it kind of almost there as well, right? Here it goes downward, here it goes slightly upward. That's also a divergence. All right, so keep an eye out on these kind of things. It's kind of interesting, in my opinion. Anyways, okay, and obviously when there is a crossing of the zero line, that's a sell. All right, so that's a sell signal, and maybe we can take a look at other indicators as well. And the saucer. Okay, so there's a reverse saucer here. So it goes down, the bars are going down, up. I'm sorry, the bars are increasing with regards to the red bars. Then there is a bit of a green, and there, kind of forms almost like some sort of saucer, like a plate, right? And essentially, when it goes into the red here, once again, we would have been able to, think about a selling position. But let's see if we can find maybe like a really good signal. Of the saucy. Maybe not with with the real market. Let's see. I always prefer to do the euro dollar or any kind of technical analysis in the, there we go, we got a nice saucer here, right? So there was a cross, it started, there was a green bar movement, it didn't cross the zero line, and we got a inverse saucer right here. So like on the second, third bar, you might, to consider a sell position, right? So we're looking at other indicators. We got, confirmation from parabolic. We got sell signal, though kind of muddled from MACD. And we also have here kind of like an increase in, from the ADX, right? So there's a negative DI. It's rising with the ADX, so it's building momentum. It's building momentum. Right about here, we see the first green bar. On the MACD, we see already second green bar. And now we got signals on this candle that fractal says up, parabolic says up, though it's got three false signals in a row, which is not really it's a little bit unusual. So this was the saucer that we were talking about. So it's inversed. We also have one over here, right? So there it is. There's a dip, but it's almost, and actually I don't even know if it actually maybe did cross the zero line. Yeah, probably crossed the zero line, so it's not really something that we want as an example. Well, I don't know. This is, actually this is a, right, there we go. Look, it is a divergence as well. We got a peak over here, and it goes, so if we draw a line, it will be slightly rising right here. All right, but it was, slightly dropping right here. So a divergence, maybe at this point there was a slight dip downward, and that's exactly what we could have taken away from this. There we go. There's a saucer right here, right? So we got a dip. It goes up, and a bunch of red bars. And right about here, we could have understood that, yes, they're already forming off this particular saucer entry point. And around here on the second, third bar, we could have considered a buy position. Looking at ADX, it's above 20. It's going up with a positive DI. We got at this candle, we have a buy signal from fractal, right, on the first green bar right here. And essentially we could have started buying, every single candle. So it kind of shows that, yeah, we should have continued with that. Ride the lightning. And, this is like my unicorn that I want to especially capture with you guys. In the live format where we catch this particular movement and we start going every single candle, we make our 5-10% in like 10-15 minutes. And that's exactly what we want. So we got one, we got two, we got three. On the fourth, it kind of broke through, and we got like a sell signal at this point, but it continued to go up a little bit more. Before reversing, once finally breaking through, we have a resistance level with the 1, 2, 3, kind of a 4-point contact. So, and so on, right? And this is essentially what we usually do. What do we usually do with you guys? We go here and we say, hey, let's bring up, click on the stars, let's bring up the highest paid assets out there with the 92 percenters, and we start looking. All right, so not an ideal situation here, but we got like on the third bar, we got, all right, what do we got? We got a sell signal from MACD. All right, here was a buy signal from Oscillator. It's awesome. And yeah, it would have been a decent purchase with regards to parabolic and awesome accelerator. I think that, I don't know, MACD was still confused a little bit. All right, and now here we actually got like confusing signals. We got red bars, we got green candle. We got parabolic going up. Well, in this candle, we said fractal going down. We got MACD slightly indecisive. It's kind of going sideways. But remember, I told you that with MACD, another kind of very important thing to remember is that when it crosses, when the lines cross the zero line, right? So basically, when if it look at that, look how long it was under the zero line, right? So from here, right, it was under all this time. There was a buy signal right here, right? There was a buy signal right here. There was a buy signal right here, but generally, right from around this point right here, it's been going down for a very long time. You know, there it is. It came up to the zero line right here before coming back down, but essentially you see that there were a whole lot more red candles than green, and certainly they were bigger. Right, so we got to keep in mind that as well. So here we do have an uptrend, right? There it is. We got the crossing of the zero line. I mean, can it go right back down, be below the zero line? Yeah, of course it can. But what are the chances of that happening, right? We also have previous points of interest. Remember, I keep telling you that once there is kind of like an upward movement, till what distance can it cover, right? And usually take a look at previous levels where the asset met resistance, freely moving beyond a particular point. Right, so this is why it was logical that if there was a buy signal here, I would have opened the position, but as soon as it reached this point on this candle, I would have said, yeah, I'm going to stop because of the previous level of resistance. Now we got to sell right here from, we'll take it. Let's take a position, a small position here. What we usually do, we take a $2 position, we'll go to a $3 next. We got it where we're selling because of parabolic and MACD right now. I think in this candle we should see the crossing of the DIs. And you know what? I usually change ADX a little bit to kind of be visually more pleasing and clear with regards. There we go. All right, so the red one takes the top. Essentially, we got a higher probability of a red candle. Here we got the red taking the top. We got a higher probability of a red candle. I entered, not that the ideal position should have been sooner, but I entered a bit later. But nevertheless, it did win. All right, so awesome oscillator. It is declining. So I'm going to take another position for a down. We do have this kind of unique, not a unique situation, but we do have a situation where we had a multiple point contact, an upward trend, 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say just 3. On the fourth one, it broke through for like literally one candle, and then it did a little bit of a boost, but as I mentioned, I do believe that it should be going down a little bit further. But let's see exactly, what we're seeing. So the market continues to give us signals whether, to continue to open positions. We're not going to have 100% success rate, but as I keep showing you day in and day out, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be making money. In the long run, but right now, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to push it down any further because, first of all, we had a down, we got a side movement, right? We got a down, we got maybe a bit of a retracement. We got fractal here saying on this candle, fractal signal saying that the next candle should be green. We're looking at everything else in here as well. ADX is dropping. It's like at 20%. I don't know. It's like puckered right, right here. All of the lines are becoming mushy. Not really certain what the hell I'm seeing here. We're, seeing that green, right, the positive DI is taking the top. So we might be seeing if we see a green candle here, or a green bar here, if we see a green bar coming up without crossing the zero line, if we start seeing from some oscillator green bars coming up, we understand that there is a, decent point of retracement for a saucer potential signal, right? So if we see green, we're going to see another green on the third one. If it's a little bit higher, we're going to take top again, a buy position. So 92% JOD versus CMR. You know what? I don't even know what the hell JOD is. But in this case, it hardly matters because this particular currency pair, it's OTC. I mean, I would say that it could be, I don't know, Bozo versus the clown, OTC. And, it doesn't matter what's in the real market associated with that asset. It's still pocket option clients that push this asset up or down. right? So this is where, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you guys know what the hell JOD is, just, type in the comments right now. But it doesn't really matter what this could be. It could be cows against chickens. And it looks like we could be seeing a crossing of the... Hold on, there we go. We got two green bars with the MACD. So actually, I would probably say that I want to... Yeah, I want to adjust the time. There we go. And okay, so green, red again, and it does look like it could be going through the zero line in 30 seconds from now. When this candle closes, the next one could be going below the zero line, which is, kind of a cool thing. It's a signal to sell. We're going to certainly take it. And because there is finally a breakout, we're going to say that we've got a resistance level, 1, 2, and there's possible 3. So in 10 seconds, we should be able to get another possible signal, and we're going to, act upon this. So there we go. Let's make sure that we're in the right time. Expiration, there we go for this one. 50. All right, it looks like we are coming, so maybe not at the end of this one, but at the end of the next one. And keep a close eye on the lines themselves. So there was a sell signal here. There was a sell signal here from parabolic. There's the dots right there. It still says sell, and we would have essentially been, if we opened position at the beginning of the candle and ending at the end, we would have made money here and here, but here it would have been a third step martingale. Here I also don't particularly want to open a sell position, even though parabolic says yes. We got all right, in 20 seconds, pretty much 17 seconds, we're going to find out if there is a additional signal from the market. We've got a green bar, which means that it could go, it's actually going sideways here. Look, it's got a very tight range that it's, goes up and down towards. There it is right here, and there it is right here. So it could go up, even, breach for a little bit before going back down further. So we'll see. The other, right, we were talking about other levels of resistance. I would say that it's here, and it touched on this wick. It touched this particular level here. So let's keep an eye out and see what's going on. If the MACD and signal line cross the zero line, I mean, I would actually be a little bit more inclined to think that, hell yeah, man, it's going down. Negative DI is, is going up. We got, I do believe we have a crossing of the, yeah, we do have a crossing of, yeah, you know what, let's do it. Let's open the position for a down. All right, for a short for a put. All right, let's see what's going on. The thing is that the ADX is below 20, which means that I'm not really feeling that there is a trend in this. All right, so not something that I would think is going to last long term. All right, so we got a sell signal here from Awesome Oscillator, and you know what? After this position is it finishes, we're going to take a look at historical accuracy of Awesome Oscillator. All right, if there's any kind of questions, comments, concerns about financial independence, if you were ever thinking about investing money, making sure if you got a little extra on the side to make sure that it works for you instead of you for the money, let me know. I mean, what did you invest into, right? Was it stocks? Was it like family business, perhaps, or friend's business or something? How would you invest money? How would you, in modern day and age, with your, I don't know, maybe country's situation, what would you do? All right, you know what? I'm going to still open for a third step. I'm going to open for a down. But the fourth step is something that I'm going to wait on. All right, so we got two green bars over here. We got, I still think that it should be going down a little bit lower. There we go. MACD changed that second green bar to a red. There's a bit of interest in that coming down. We still got parabolic, on top, and the lines are coming closer to the zero line. There's the MACD line is almost touching the zero line, the zero line, and it looks like it should be continuing to go down. ADX kind of, leveled off a little bit. At least, there's that. That's exactly what made me think that, you know what, I should, maybe try another down position. Should be a red candle. There we go. We're in the money. Going back to first step martingale, but no, at this point, I think that I would probably want to wait or switch assets. So we got a sell signal right here from Awesome Oscillator. Didn't quite pan out. I think that, on this candle, we opened for a sell. It started going up, but we, kind of made it, on the third step martingale here. So let's take a look at maybe other assets and we'll see what we got here. We got predominantly red. It's, going above a bearish move. I would say that it's really evident. It's evident. There it is. Multiple point contact, right? Not an exact science. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. I would say even 4, 5. This resistance level looks very, very sexy to me. And to you as well, because next time the asset comes up to this level and breaches it, there's a higher likelihood that it's going to continue to breach it. And if you notice that there does seem to be a tendency from here that it's going down at a certain angle, right? But in the past, I would say, 16, right from when we started streaming, today, well, it's kind of like shortening that, right, or smoothing out this particular drop. So it is coming, kind of sideways movement now, and, we probably want to wait. There is that saucer here, right there. See, so on the third bar, it seemed like it was getting bigger right about here. I might have opened a position with you guys. Also, there we go. We had a MACD also, but this is what I don't like. I don't like when MACD is like pitifully small bars like that. It doesn't make me happy. Anyways, but yes, it crossed the zero line right here, right around there, and from this point we're seeing, almost, barely, but still lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So this negative move cannot go on forever, just like I said here. All right, so we're looking at the possibility. Oh, there was a breakout, right? So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3 on the fourth one. It broke out. When this candle closed here, I could have considered opening a buy position on this one, but we'll see. All right, the ADX still shows me 15, which means that this is not a trend. And on top of the fact that the JOD, or, chickens versus cows, it dropped to 57%. Boo! Not something that I want to be part of. All right, even like 89% is already a different martingale that should be included here. So, all right, so let's see what we got here. We still got increase in ADX, right? It still says that it should be bearish, though we got a MACD line, circling around a bit. Now, here's the thing. There could be a bit of a pullback before a continuation. So that's why, remember I said that once the MACD line and the signal line are below the zero line, that's exactly what it does. There it is. It almost crossed, but nope, it came back down. And while it stays below the zero line, you don't really want to buy on the, you don't want to open positions on the buy signals. Trend is your friend. Trend is your friend. I keep saying that all the time. So yes, there is a, seemingly like there should be a buy signal. And you know what? We probably could take a small advantage of it and like open a position, a buy position for $2. All right, I kind of screwed up. Didn't enter at the right, at the better position. All right, but we're looking. It's it was definitely premature at this level, but as you can see, it was a bit of a spike. A spike at just at that moment before I kind of entered. Anyways, but it's not a big deal, right? Because it's wait, did I open a position? No, I didn't. I thought, wait a second. I wanted to open for 3. There it is. All right, let's open a buy position for 3. There we go. For, in 40 seconds it should be closing, but also let's open a 750. Oh, wait a second. This is what I was talking about, right? So maybe if we get a sell signal right now, if parabolic switches to the top, this would be a, something like that point where we could consider a drop. By the way, to what point would it drop? I would say that it's got potential to go to somewhere to this bar, and that's why we are going to open the next one and wait a little bit. All right, see, it could be going sideways. So actually, third step already. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I get a signal, right? So we got to for a split second we had a buy. We again have a sell from parabolic, and I think I might take that actually. I think I might take the sell. All right, fourth step, not something to be joking with, because I mean, that kind of puts puts at risk the entire tiny progress that we had, and that's something that's psychologically traumatizing. You'd be like, man, I've been making $1, $2, $3, or maybe 10, 20, 30, and over the course of like an hour, and then boom, you open the position for 180 or for 18 bucks, and it wipes out the entire thing and gets you in the red. This is where most people lose their bananas, right? And they start doing revenge trading. So all of the guys like Donald and Henry, where we're talking on the daily basis in Telegram, and we look at different situations. So we're talking of, we get big, better signals. We trade together, because we can take our time and, discuss certain situations a little bit more clearly. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. So the ADX is going up. It's above 20. It's going up with the negative DI. We got the MACD and the signal line below the zero line, well below the zero line. So yeah, I'm going to be opening a lot more confidently sell positions than buy positions, because buy positions would be short-term pullbacks before maybe like a bit, more enthusiastic drops. All right, so we have this, like a drop here, a little bit of a, upward movement on the third bar, as I mentioned right about here at this candle. We could have seen that saucer pattern. I could say maybe like pattern, yeah. Saucer pattern, and we would have been able to sell. Why sell? Because ADX is above 20. Why sell? Because zero line, or is signal line and MACD line are below the zero line. Why sell here? Because parabolic is still on top. We could actually say that, maybe somewhere here as well, we have this kind of like a saucer situation. On the second to third bar, it's still increasing, and at this point we got parabolic. We got MACD doing this goofy thing here, but we also see ADX crossing upwards with from the below 20 into 21. So it's a starting signal that it is something that we could be expecting. A higher probability is going to go down. The only thing I don't like really right now about JVP, JPY, this is the most volatile currency against the least volatile currency in the real market, but it's OTC. Once again, it could be ground goblins against, junior, I don't know, anyways. Can't really come up with a PY, I don't know why. Anyways, all right. So once again, it doesn't matter. This could be, I don't know, a rainy day versus sunny day. Because it's OTC, it's still something that moves this by buying and selling off pocket option clients. All right. So what I don't like about this asset is that it's got a whole lot of wicks. There's, if we take a look at ATR, we probably could see very, very low volatility right now. Man, I'm not expecting big candles at all right now. Look how low this is. Right, so last time it was this low was around here. Look at these tiny ass candles. Right, so I mean, who's going to do winning here? This is like 50-50. If you enter, if you click, and the price can change 300 times per second. Right, now obviously not like by pips and stuff like that, right? It could be changing, slight little pipettes, but it could be like vibrating because the buying and selling is done depending on the volatility being done at the same time. So I don't know, even though it's green, if you how lucky would you have to be in order to enter here and exit here, right? I don't know. So this is why right now, GBP, JPY, OTC, we're going to say adieu and goodbye. GBP, AUD with 60, I don't think so. Euro ruble with 59, hell no, no. All right, and yeah, we're going to look into the 92 percenters in just a second. All right, we got a buy signal. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got here? Okay. ADX is dropping, but it's still around 36. I mean, there was a decent drop here. It looks like a breakout strategy. Check it out. Well, we might be finally catching this like really good entry point. All right, so there we go. Right, we got one, we got two, we got three, and we seems like we got a decent buy opportunity. And let's kind of take a part of this. What? Okay, we got to this weird thing with the ADX, and remember, I keep saying that this is not when you want to trade when there's these little blips and almost non-existent bars. Here we got also with this awesome oscillator, we got a whole bunch of red intermittent with green. Not really cool, but we do have the longer it's like this, the better the trend will be once it finally starts moving. Right? So think about this as like you're on the drag strip and this is like warming up the tires. Right? You ain't going anywhere, but it seems like a lot of effort for nothing. But nevertheless, once it starts though, right, we got the ADX climbing above 20 right about here. We got sell signal, right? We got, I don't know, what else we could be finding here. Alright, so in the money, but it seems like there is the resistance level right here, right? And it might have difficulties overcoming this, so it might bounce back, come back up, bounce back, come back up, and break through. So let's see, volatility is dropping, so the next candle should, is not going to be as big. That's why I'm going to be waiting. We got the crossing of the DIs. We got the increase in bars, and I think that, yeah, let's take a next minute for a buy as well. All right, so we'll see at the end of this 28 seconds, we should be able to see if there's a crossing on the awesome oscillator, right? But the volatility is dropping. That's the only thing that got me a little bit, well, still on the high side, right? If we take a look, at this, range versus this range right here, that's pitiful. This is not really something that I would enjoy trading as well. Let's go for a 1.5 multiplier on the following candle. Wait, nope, got on the following. There we go, on the following candle. We're going to open up another one for a buy. There's a crossing of the zero line with a drop in volatility a little bit. So let's take a, we're just going to keep an eye out on this. What I really like right now is that the next level of resistance that could be a point of interest somewhere here. Right, somewhere here. So this movement has actually quite, a decent amount of space to go to. So we got 88, what the hell is this? Euro CHF. All right, so we got, let's say 88.90, and right about here is 89.20. So I would say like around 30 pips, right? Around 30 pips about to here. So if it all happens in one candle, that's not really good. But if it goes up in 10 seconds, it's going to close higher. Then 3 pips, then 4 pips, then 2 pips, then 3 pips. We got actually a couple of minutes worth of opening positions every single time it closes. But here's the thing. We got, look, how many, well, we did have like a relatively decent down run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green candles in a row. Not something that usually happens without a pullback. All right, so look, we got a red bar from MACD. And we got the lines coming up towards the zero line, which makes me very hopeful, but we got the or ADX dropping. So I'm thinking that the volatility, or kind of the inertia of the downward movement is over, but it doesn't show really that the inertia of an upward bullish movement is starting yet. So we do have, all right, since this was already broke through, right? We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. On the 4th one, it broke through. Another golden rule that I've been trying to, convey to you guys is that it becomes an established level of resistance or support when it touches the level 3 times without breaking it, right? So we got a continuous kind of growth. You know what? We talked about momentum indicator. Right, look, it seems like it's growing as well, but the volatility is dropping. So I would say, wait, did we win the last position? No, we didn't. All right, I would still say that it should be going upwards. It's kind of like a nice gentle slope, which is like also kind of makes me, I don't know, pleased, I would say, right? Because it was a gentle slope downward, now it's a gentle slope upward. Volatility is, so this should be a green candle, but I think I entered not at the ideal point. We still got, see, fractal on this candle, fractal came up saying that it should be going down. All right, so actually I would load a third step. And let's see, right? So we got a, I don't know, momentum says there's a green, green bar, but it's going down. We got volatility, dropping in that pitiful range. So I might actually, this is still a free-flowing support level. So while it's above, it's still going to be, kind of generally, I don't know, bullish dominant. But we still looking for second point contact. I wouldn't say that this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. I would say that this is 1, and we're still looking for number 2. I'm such a boy. Alright, anyway, so we're keeping an eye out on this. 92% volatility is leveling off. Let's see. We got the DIs looking like they're about to cross. We got the red bar. Yeah, I was kind of hopeful that the MACD and the signal line would be crossing the 0 line and continuing to go upwards, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening. But yeah, I don't know. We could still kind of expect maybe there should be an upward. Right, we got parabolic still on the bottom. This right here has me a little bit shaken, not stirred, of course, but nevertheless, we got kind of like a bullish momentum still maybe rising a bit. But I'm beginning to think that, yeah, I was hoping that maybe around here or here it's going to face resistance, but it looks like it's finding it just slightly above the previous one, right? So it's sawing at this level. So let's wait and see a little bit, in just a bit, see what's going on. All right, what do we got here? We got volatility rising. Let's actually get rid of this so it doesn't confuse us. We got, what do we got? Kind of like a saucer situation, but not really. What the hell is this? CHF JPY? Wow, very, very choppy moves. All right, so we got this like, let's get rid of this. We got a nice support level here, and we got a little awkward resistance level. So we got 1, 2, 3. On the fourth one, it broke through. We got a bunch of signals that it's a good idea. We would have taken advantage of this for sure. But right now, I would say that, there we go. We got a sell signal from parabolic. But this is like a 2-point contact. I would actually say that more appropriate would be like this, right? A horizontal. But at this point, I would say that it's maybe kind of like a channel almost. It seems like it's dropping. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, should we take advantage of it? All right. Let's take a sell. All right. Next one is 1875, and yeah. Make sure to check out the how to win tournaments, man. This is like such a great way to put some extra money in your pocket. And I'm actually doing quite good in today's tournament. I'm going to share that with you. I have been recording this, and wait a second, we're facing spam again from Twitch. We're live in 2 accounts right now in YouTube and in Twitch. So anyways, all right, so we did get a sell signal on this candle, an early sell signal from Fractal. On this candle, we had a parabolic, we had a growing bars, MACD. We got a positive, negative DI crossing negative on top. And actually, I would say, wow, I mean, this is already going towards the point where I would think that it would be bouncing away. Look at all of these resistance levels. I don't think that this is going to go on much longer, though. Look, we got this one here, right? Let's make sure, let's, kind of cover it. There it is. All right, bunch of times it couldn't, bounce through. It faced resistance here. There's a false breakout here. So I wouldn't expect that there's going to be another big candle, red candle here. I think that it's going to saw this level a little bit. Or, look, it's actually going right away again into the next one. When's the next one? When's the next level of interest? right? We got it across the points right here. Actually, I would say kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it couldn't breach this level on the way down. So if it's gonna breach it, maybe it's gonna go down just by a little bit to the previous, kind of points right there. But if it continues to go down, we're looking at maybe this level, then perhaps this one, as the levels of interest. We got volatility dropping very sharply, so the candles are going to be small. So there we go. There was a drop, kind of a small candle, a big drop, a small candle. I would actually expect a green one right here. But look, we got ADX rising, and it's around 15%. I wouldn't say that it's a trending move yet, right? I mean, look, over here at 25, it peaked, right? But I do see that the, negative DI is dominant. So anyways, all right, let's, yeah, I don't know. I think that I would definitely want to say that I'm in the mood to wait a little bit longer. We got seeming like a continuous lower highs. We got a nice little resistance level here. We could say that we have also a kind of like an expanding trade, right? So boom, it comes lower, it comes lower, it comes lower, but this case actually annihilated that pattern. So that's why we're still looking at these resistance levels as the key levels of interest. So right now, would you want to open a position? See, look how how long did it take to get up to this, to this level, right? So it took like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, right? 8 minutes, I would say 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 minutes, 13, 14 minutes right there, right here to get to this point. And we're talking about like 5 minutes to get back down to this point. So this is where that big, super aggressive drop once again kind of tells me that it shouldn't be lasting for long. But it seems like it's still, kind of building. And yeah, I think that I would definitely prefer to wait until I see certain other signals, maybe for a retracement. So we got a crossing. Look, right now we could see a long-term drop. Actually, let's take a look at 3-minute candles to see a little bit bigger picture. All right, so it's somewhere in the middle. There's the lowest point, 177.264. Highest point is somewhere over here, 179. All right, and yeah, JPY, it's a third pip, 3 digits after the decimal. That's the pip movement, the different calculation than euro dollar. So we're looking at a crossing over here, and it seemed like it was heavy, on the downward trend from this point. It was establishing lower highs. Here it started going, there's a buy signal right here. And it crossed to the top, and it seems like it is above, but it's like, kind of mushed a little bit together. So if it crosses below, I mean, it does have more room to go downwards, right? Let's see. And yeah, I mean, that's actually the lowest point, 177. It's been the lowest point for a very, very, very long time. Actually, I'm looking when's the last time it was that low, and I'm still not seeing it. Right, so it's always been above 180, right? So 177. It seems like it's been, a very, very long time, right? So what do we? What's today's date? 29th. So yeah, for over a week, it's never dropped that low. So if it is dropping, what are the chances it's going to continue to drop to 177? I don't know. See, this is where I would, I would probably want to take this with a grain of salt. Alright, let's go back to 1 minute. Kind of like what I said, that there should be a bit of a resistance level right here, just to push back a little bit, just a little boundary a bit further. So it seems like it could be going. There's a green bar, there's 3 green bars, and negative DI is dropping, though, we're seeing that ADX itself is still below 20. Alright, so you know what now? I'm gonna, there's too many conflicting signals here. There's nothing really clear yet. That's why, and the 84%, dropped to 84%. So 85, no, not something that I would be interested at this moment. All right, what do we got? Oh wow, we almost have like a channel here, right? A parallel channel. Look at that. Let's take a look. It looks that way, but let's see if we actually see it. Yeah. All right, look at that. Damn near perfect, right? Boom, boom, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes down. No, that's actually pretty freaking good. All right, so at this point, we got a buy signal from everywhere. We got buy signal here, we got buy signal here, we got crossing here, but we also got pitiful low, medium on, I would say medium low volatility, and ADX is like ridiculously low. It's 10%, right? It's not even close to being a trend, which makes me think that, again, this is going to be a relatively good level of resistance, right? Might actually not even reach it. I'm thinking that it should be giving us red candles in just, any moment now. And actually, let's load up on the first step martingale. Actually, I think our statistic today is pitiful. Right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 signals. And we had 1, 2, 3, or wait a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly 50-50. Exactly 50-50. And you know what? I always feel freaking good as hell when I'm, definitely like Morpheus. Prophesizing, because, what did I just say, man? That there's absolutely nothing to point out that this is not going to be, again, a point of contact. At this moment, it's a little bit late to enter, because it's, now it's in the middle of the channel. So even if it's going to bounce back, it's going to go up to this point, maybe, finally break through, or if it's going to continue to go down, it's going to be able to go down again to the support level, and that's not really a lot of space. All right, so, and again, the ADX is dropping even lower. So far, there's absolutely no indication that this is a trending move. Yes, it's going up, it's establishing higher lows, all right, but, and higher highs, but it's not with any kind of gusto, right? What's the difference between this and this? Not a whole lot, right? So we could be thinking that it's still trending sideways. However, the longer it stays this way, the higher the likelihood that when it starts moving, it's going to be moving. And look, we got the ADX and MACD line. They're kind of trying to stay above the zero line, or rather, this looks like it's trying to break through back again to the zero line below it. It just seems like every time it touches, it bounces away. Every time it touches, it bounces away. But again, this is not something that can last forever. And if we take a look at a higher time intervals, we see that, well, it's been, kind of doing the same thing. Look, it's trying to break through. There's not really a lot of, it stayed for a while here, right? And it broke through very, very cautiously. But we see that from this point right here, it definitely was establishing new lower lows. We're looking at ADX, right about here. ADX started to feel a little bit more confident. There's the 20, dipped below. There's above 20, continued, definitely good. There's that saucer for a sell right about here. I would say there's multiple saucers right about, as I mentioned, second or third bar. We could consider, looking at other indicators and seeing if it's a good idea. Second to third bar, yeah, this is almost broke through, but, I don't think I would have taken a position here, just based on the fact that parabolic was, coming to an end. I would actually say that with a 3-minute candle, this was actually an excellent support level. It might look little, but it actually, because it's 3-minute candles, this started at 12:55, and it was breached at, damn near an hour later, right? So we got like 3-minute candles, but we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, about, 18. So about 20 candles. So, yeah, coming damn near close to, this would have been a good thing. Right now, yes, it's a slight upward movement. Remember what I always say, keep in mind, when is the last time it faced difficulties? I would say somewhere here, right, or exactly where it is right now. right? So look, right there, it's, it seems like it's can't really get beyond this. There's the previous point, just a little bit before that it was slightly higher, a little bit before that it was slightly lower. So I would still say somewhere, just maybe smack down in the middle, right, yeah, perfect, and right now, it still seems like it's struggling to get beyond this level. So I would definitely want to wait. But, my dear friends, the time has come. All right, so hopefully you understood a little bit more about the awesome oscillator. There is the saucer. There are divergences that you should be considering. If you want to discuss this in greater detail with me one-on-one, you're certainly able to touch base with me in Telegram channel, literally talking to me, not to a bot or anything like that. You can tell me about your thoughts about trading, about investing. Let's discuss this with no obligations, with no negative feelings. I like-minded people. This is something I've been doing for a very long time. Even, I would say that equally as long I've been talking to people about this. Yeah, I mean, just between my two jobs, not to mention like friends and families and friends of friends, just between my two international brokers and a few other small jobs related to this with regards to crypto, over 4,000 people talked to me and got a clarity about how to invest better. Right, how to invest with the steadier results, and as I mentioned, it's not something that is unidirectional, right? It's you need to diversify. Traditional investing is still something that's going to be part of your financial independence. So, my dear friends, I'm going to wish you adieu and goodbye until tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, much later than today, we're going to take advantage of the interest rate decision from Americans, but keep an eye out on the Canadian. Canadians are also going to be moving the market. Bank of Canada monetary policy report and the statement, which is a pre-carefully selected wording, and is going to be read off the piece of paper. But yes, there's going to be an overnight rate, and this is something that about half an hour later, so 45 minutes, right? There's going to be a press conference from Bank of Canada representative that's going to be answering questions from the press. This could also create a trending move, depending on how things are going to be developing. But you and I are going to take advantage of the federal funds rate. We're going to talk about alligator tomorrow as well, because we skipped it yesterday. And yep, so I'll see you tomorrow. Another exciting time about making money. And as you can see today, also not extravagant, not jets and Ferraris in 1 hour, but nevertheless, we still made money and we're still in profit. I'll see you all later. See you tomorrow.